It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Otherside Brewing Company and it's a can of their Experimental. It's a Redliner Double India Red Ale coming in at 8.5% ABV, 65 IBUs. It looks fantastic. It's in a 375 milliliter can. I want to say a massive thank you to Mick for sending me this wonderful beer. Without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Nice bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 2-finger, slightly off white head, good levels of carbonation. Yeah, Imperial Red Ale, most definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Good levels of carbonation riding up the side of the glass. Slightly hazy. Gosh, deep. It's like a deep mahogany, like an oaky mahogany coloured beer with a little bit of a red hue going on. Looks amazing. Look at that slow moving carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. Without further ado, let's roll this beer around in the glass and get the aroma. Oh yeah, India Red Ale. I love a red ale, and I love it when they use the red malts, the darker malts in the beer, and they add a load of hops to it. Smells fabulous. A little bit of licorice, a little bit of spice to go with that, a touch of vanilla, orange, touch of grapefruit. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, ho, ho. Wow, that's a powerful beer. Wow, there's so much flavour coming through. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. You're hit with a face full of licorice and grapefruit and pine needle. The red malts are sweet and caramel like coming through. The smallest amount of kind of roasted malt in the beer just gives it like almost, yeah, like roasted malt types. There's gonna be a touch, a small, I reckon the tiniest amount of roasted malt in there, and it's just giving off slight licoricey flavours, plum and fig and prune from the dark malts mixing with the hops. It's wonderful. Big, creamy, rich mouthfeel. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. What a beer this is. What a beer. Fabulous. Otherside Brewing Company. Where are they based? Fremantle, Western Australia. The description on the beer is all the hoppy goodness of the 2019 Redliner Double India Pale Ale, reimaginated with a red IPA malt bill. Citrus, pine, tropical fruit and marmalade from the hops sit on a caramel malt base filled with dried fruit and roasted notes. Yes, I mean I was a little bit apprehensive to talk about a roasted note to the beer, but it was definitely there, and I was thinking, what if they haven't put roasted? I'm talking about roasted malt in the beer. What if they haven't put roasted malt in the beer? But I'm thankfully reading the can. It almost fits with what I'm saying. The dried fruit, I called it plum and fig and prune. I mentioned the caramel. They called it a caramel base. I love that kind of toffee caramel flavour that comes through in the beer. It's absolutely terrific. And if you rock the beer back and forth, you can see that carbonation chasing the head of the glass. It looks absolutely terrific. It really does. Look at that. Lovely lacing, lovely mouthfeel, creamy, rich mouthfeel. Loads and loads of hops in the beer. I like the balance. The balance of the beer is kind of, it's a little bit all over the place because it's got some lovely red malts in there, a little bit of sweetness in there, it's got some bitterness from the hops, there's caramel flavours coming through, there's lots going on, licorice, and it's plummy and fig and prune as I mentioned, and all of that kind of, it gives it like a glider in the wind balance. It's not quite gliding nicely, it's a glider in the wind, sitting slightly kind of wobbly, moving around in the wind, because there's a little bit of sweetness, there's a little bit of bitterness, there's a little bit of caramel, there's a little bit of spicy malts, you know, it's just going, you know, it's a little bit turbulent, but I love that because that means there's so many flavours in the beer, they're just fighting, the flavours are fighting each other over and over and over again. The caramel wants to win, the touch of vanilla wants to win, the licorice wants to win. And all in all, it makes for a beer that I want to stand in my kitchen here and break it all down for you. Completely break down and find as many flavours as I possibly can to give you. So the spiciness, the vanilla, just amazing. The combination of flavours as well, when they kind of like, you think some of these flavours wouldn't work when they crash together, but they really do. They really do. They really work. I mentioned earlier on, I'm filming the last few beers I got from Mick, or this is the last beer I got from Mick in this particular package. He very nicely sent me a nice tube of cans when he has time, which seems to be once a month, which is terrific. I thank Mick for this. I mentioned it in the previous video. I didn't mention what I was recording on. So in the previous video I talked about my camera breaking mid-roll. Didn't record any footage and I was devastated because I've had this camera, this Panasonic. I've always used a camcorder, in my reviews. It just feels like the right thing to do. It feels like the thing you would use if you wanted to be a YouTuber. It's just my generation. It's just my generation because my uncle had a big camcorder, one of them massive ones that sat on his shoulder, and it just seems to be the thing to have. But I'm currently standing here in front of a GoPro. My wife was kind enough to lend me the GoPro for the evening, so the sound might not be as good as it was. The picture should be. The picture should be as good as it was. It should be wider. It should be able to pick up more of the kitchen. I can't see because it's just saying it's recording. So I'm just explaining if the sound's not quite right, or if you're looking at a different view in the kitchen, it's because I'm borrowing my wife's GoPro for the evening. So we need to work out what camera we're going to get. I thought it died a few weeks ago. I managed to fix it, carried on with it. Everything's just fallen apart. The cable's broken to charge the damn thing. The touchscreen broke about a year ago. That's when I knew I had real problems with it. But I'm one of these people, I like to eke out as much of it as possible. You know, if I can fix it, I'll fix it. And I fixed it for as long as I can. Now it's broke. It's completely broke. So I'm recording this mid-August. There's talk of a new GoPro coming out late September. So I'm going to try and sort something out in the meantime. for you know, just for while I wait for this new GoPro to come out, or work out what camera I'm going to buy. Okay, enough explaining about the quality of the camera. Let's move on to the rating for this beer then. What a beer. That's 65 IBUs. It is nice and bitter on the back end. It looks great. Look at that. As I wash that beer around in the glass, I don't know what the GoPro's like at picking up this sort of thing. I just picked it up and used it, but that looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Look at the quality on that. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic beer. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. It's Otherside Brewing Company's experimental series Redliner Double India Red Ale at 8.5% ABV. 10 out of 10. I love it. Love the look, love the mouthfeel. I love everything about that beer. Okay, thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.